Ladies and gentlemen, dear summoners, welcome to the leaked patch notes of the 7.0 patch that is coming up in 10 days on the 22nd January. And I'm so excited. This video is going to cover AD carry changes, and we're gonna look at who are the champions that will benefit most from the AD carry perspective. We're gonna look at the items that will be implemented newly. So that means Guinsoo's Rageblade, yes, it is coming. We're gonna look at Runaan's Hurricane and the changes. We're gonna look at the Blade of the Wound King changes, the Riftmaker, and the Phantom Dancer. So specifically champions that are built with on-hit builds will benefit from this a lot. Let's get into it. Here we are, dear summoners, and the first item we are looking at is Guinsoo's Rageblade. A lot of people are excited about this item. A lot of you might already know this item from ARAM or from the normal League of Legends. Now it is time to introduce it to Wild Rift and the normal and ranked play. So I'm excited for this because this item greatly increases attack speed and can trigger on-hit effects multiple times. So it is great for AD carries that rely on on-hit. The raw stats say, and this might all be subject to change, because we don't know, what they will be cooking in the end. But the raw stats as of right now say plus 30% attack speed. It says it has a passive of plus 5 movement speed, movement speed. We take that, that's good. Then we have, similar to Nashor's Tooth, the passive that is adaptive. So it gives you attack damage or ability power. Some of you who have been playing also with Runaan's Hurricane know that it basically has the same effect. Depending what you are building, it will give you AP or AD. So if you, for example, have Berserker Greaves, some of you might notice that a lot of people that are in the higher ranks, they put in a little magic tome in between in order to get the ability power instead of the attack damage. So this still applies. If you want the ability power, you need to have more AP from items than AD. So if you buy Berserker Greaves, always take another tome so the ability power actually gets activated. And another passive, also the names, I don't know if that will be the exact names because this is translated from the Chinese server. So passive Wrath, it says that basic attacks can no longer critically strike, which is bad, right? But we are building on hit, so instead we will be dealing 30 bonus magic damage. We take that, that is great, especially if we combine that with attack speed, right? So for every 1% critical strike chance, and now it gets interesting, for every 1% crit chance, the magic damage is increased by 1.5 up to 75 bonus magic damage on hit. That is insane. And it is maxed at 50% crit chance. That means that we can only build 2 crit items in order to maximize its potential and get 75 bonus magic damage. Then there is another passive on this item, so there is more. Basic attack grant 8% attack speed, stacking up to 4 times. That means a total of 32% attack speed. That's also a lot. And when it's fully stacked, then you are in like a seething state. Every third basic attacks basically triggers on-hit effects an additional time. So that is insane, right? So what does that mean? Well, if you have on-hit effects, for example, if your third item would be Blade of the Wound King, those on-hit effects of Blade of the Wound King will get triggered twice every third basic attack, which is insane. So you can already see the power if you combine those items. But let's check out the next item, Runaan's Hurricane, because they change it also pretty significantly. First of all, they added crit to Runaan's Hurricane. But if you just read before, well, Guinsoo's, as we can see here, removes crit. You cannot longer critically strike, so the crit is useless from Runaan's. So you might be thinking already, well, this is bad to combine them, right? Wait a minute. they make it even worse. They remove the passive where you have the adaptive force. Yeah, you will not get the adaptive AD or AP. So this is already bad. You will be a little bit weaker on this item. And they remove the Wind's Fury bolts. So bolts can crit and apply on-hit effects. This is also removed on Runaan's Hurricane, which is pretty bad. So what is this change here, right? Well, the good thing about Runaan's, it still has those 3 bolts and it gives you crit. Now, the good thing about the crit is if we go back, for every 1% crit chance, the magic damage is increased by 1.5. So it means 25% crit chance gives us 37.5 magic damage on top. So this crit chance will get converted into magic damage, which is great. And this is on hit. So we will be making even more magic damage because Guinsoo does 30 bonus magic damage. And if you have Runaan's, you make 37.5 magic damage on top of that. So you deal 67.5 magic damage when you have both items completed on hit. This is insane, especially if you have high attack speed, which you will if you combine Guinsoo's and Runaan's together, right? So the big winners here are Kog'Maw, obviously. Kog'Maw's bread and butter always was Guinsoo's Rageblade, so this item, now combined with Runaan's, will be absolutely wreaking havoc on Kog'Maw. Also, other winners will be like Jinx with her Rocket Splash. With Twitch, for example, Ashe can also work on that. Zeri, Caitlyn can work on that, but also obviously champions like Varus or Kai'Sa, right? Yeah, so Varus and Kai'Sa will also be pretty great with that, right? Now, Blade of the Ruined King, they changed the cost from 3,200 gold to 3,000 gold. The passive, 10% physical vamp it gave before, is now changed to Omnivamp. Omnivamp means it is not only, you are not only getting life leech from physical auto attacks, you also get life steal from magic damage. If you look at Kog'Maw, his W is magic damage, so this will also give him way more lifesteal than he had before if he now uses this item. Also his, almost all of his abilities, I think all of his abilities, the Q, the W, and the ultimate, they all deal magic damage. So you will be healing with Blade of the Ruined King a lot if you now build it. So combining these 3 items will make Kog'Maw one of the big winners here. And also, obviously, other champions such as Kai'Sa, Varus, Vayne, Yone also will benefit from Blade of the Ruined King, or Jax even. Yeah, because Jax especially, he also deals a lot of magic damage, right? It's like a hybrid champion. So these are the changes for the 3 core items that we will be building mostly on Kai'Sa, Varus, Kog'Maw. And I am very excited to see those, and be playing with those a lot, because Kog'Maw is one of my favorite champions now. Since he was released, I was waiting for him a long time. Now, Riftmaker also has a change. We were building Riftmaker on Kog'Maw as the 3rd item usually. Usually you were building like Runaan's. So we were building Nashor's Tooth, right, as 2nd item on Kog'Maw. And the 3rd item usually was Riftmaker. Why was it good? Because it gave you Omnivamp. So you could heal off of your AD damage and your AP damage. Now they change it to Magic Vamp, so it only heals off of magic damage, which is pretty bad for AD carries because they usually do mixed damage, right? So it will rank some 1 or 2 tiers lower for AD carries for sure. And that's why I said you probably will be building Guinsoo's into Runaan's, into Blade of the Ruined King, especially for Kog'Maw, and not building Riftmaker 3rd anymore. Now, obviously, champions such as Gwen, Mordekaiser, Zaken, and Vladimir will still build this item because they deal magic damage, right? And now comes another item they will change again. Phantom Dancer was buffed significantly and was pretty good stat-wise now. Now, they changed the passive as follows. The Spectral Waltz duration is increased to 6 seconds, and the cooldown now instantly or immediately is reduced by 1 second per auto attack, which means that you can, like, as long as you are attacking, you have permanent 30% movement speed and attack speed, which is insane because you will be so fast, and movement speed is good on any AD carry because you are more mobile, right? And more attack speed is also great. Now also keep in mind, Phantom Dancer gives you crit, so this might be your first item where you basically would take the crit. No, this is your second item, sorry. Like, Phantom Dancer gives you crit, right? And the Runaan's Hurricane gives you crit. So these two items give you 50% crit chance. So with that said, you would be maximizing the Guinsoo's passive, because you can maximize the passive with 50% crit chance, and then you will be given 75 bonus magic damage on hit, which is absolutely insane because Phantom Dancer gives you 40% attack speed. If you will be having Guinsoo's, Runaan's, Blade of the Rune King, and Phantom Dancer, you don't even need a Lulu anymore to go like max attack speed. It's gonna be absolutely nuts how fast you're going to be attacking and how much bonus magic damage you will be dealing with every auto attack. So that's gonna be like, Kog'Maw is on top. He's like, after his nerf, he's still rank 1 on the AD carry list if you look at the win rates in China. Now with this change, I think he will be gaining some win rate, 1 or 2% again, because this build will be absolutely disgusting. And if they won't nerf Kog'Maw, he will be OP, I'm pretty sure. So that was pretty much it for all the AD carry items. I hope you liked I hope you like this and are excited. Leave a like. Join me on the Rift. I will be also streaming. I'm pretty new, but I am Challenger. I reached Challenger 2 times. My main champions, like, I love to play AD carry like Kog'Maw, Twitch, like Kalista. I love to play those, but my main is actually top lane. I'm maining, like, and don't kill me for this, I'm maining Teemo and Nasus. I'm one of the best Nasus on the server. And yeah, I'm pretty excited about the changes that will come in 10 days. And see you then on the Rift. This was Ratatouille. Let's get it, guys. Bye.